Welcome to our live event with Ms. Holly Dean, forensic coach and media specialist for Thomas Walker High School. Students presenting with her today are Hunter Isley, Megan Russell, and Dawson Smith.
Hi guys, I'm Holly Dean from Thomas Walker. I'm the forensics coach, and just to explain a little bit about what that is. Ever since October of 2000, when the CSI crime scene investigation shows started showing, speech students across the country have been explaining that the type of forensics we do has nothing to do with ballistics or blood spatter patterns or any of that. According to the VHSL website, the Virginia High School League has been supporting speech programs since 1915, when it recognized a girls and boys champion in prose readings. The popularity of the event quickly spread, and several other categories were added later on. To explain a little bit of what these students do better, there are public speaking categories, and they're a bit more straightforward and judged by the contestant's ability to write and then produce a speech. Each of these three categories play to different strengths. In extemporaneous speaking, a contestant's ability to produce a speech by using outside sources and knowledge gained from the news is important. In impromptu speaking, a student's ability to plan a speech quickly and deliver it efficiently is tested. In original oratory, a student writes a speech about something important to him or her and then presents the issue in speech format for judges. Other areas of competition, or the acting areas, rely on interpretation. These categories do not allow for props or costumes of any kind, and the competitors are limited in their movement. The idea is that they have to give us the story and get us to use our imaginations for the rest. If a competitor is truly gifted, you don't miss the props and you don't miss the costumes because you've been transported by their words, gestures, and facial expressions. Poetry and prose, while having a bit of that same interpretation, are more of readings of a piece. Not quite as theatrical, but more meant to tell a story that an audience can connect to. I have 3 students representing our Thomas Walker Forensics team this year. All 3 of these are going to our region competition next weekend. They are not presenting their forensics pieces to you. Rather, they are going to just read children's stories and children's poems to you. Since we haven't gone to our competitions yet, they're not allowed to present those at this time. So we will first be having Dawson Smith.
This is the true story of the 3 little pigs. Everybody knows the story of the 3 little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody's heard my side of the story. I am Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. I mean, hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. I mean, if cheeseburgers were cute, folks would think that you're big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing, it's all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to my neighbor's for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his entire house out of straw. Can you believe that? I mean, who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in?" There was no answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed. A great sneeze. And you know what? That whole straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. So it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner just lying there in the straw, so I ate him up. Think of it as a cheeseburger just lying there right in front of you. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not by much. He had his entire house built of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the house, but nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe this, but that guy's house fell down too. When the dust cleared, there was the second pig, dead as a doornail already. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food would spoil if you just left it out in the open, so I did the only thing that there was to do. I had another dinner. Consider it a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have that cup of sugar that I needed. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and the second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his entire house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. There was no answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker said to me? Get out of here, Wolf, and don't come again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me a cup. What a pig. I was just about to go home and make my granny a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt another cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Okay, now I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my grandmother like that, I tend to go a little crazy. So when the cops drove up, of course I was banging on the guy's door, and the whole time I was huffing and snuffing and sneezing and causing a real scene. The rest, they say, is history. The news reporters found that the two pigs that I had for dinner, and they figured that a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar just wasn't very exciting. So they jazzed the story up with all the huff and puff and blow your house down stuff. So that's what made me the big. I was framed. But maybe you could lend me a cup of sugar?
Yay! That was awesome. You're ready.
Hi, my name is Hunter Isley, and I will be doing Llama Llama Red Pajama.
Teacher intervention.
Yeah.
And you can come a little bit closer, actually, and they can. There you go.
Llama Llama Red Pajama reads a story with his mama. Mama kisses baby's hair. Mama Llama goes downstairs. Llama Llama Red Pajama feels alone without his mama. Baby Llama wants a drink. Mama's at the kitchen sink. Llama Llama Red Pajama calls down to his llama mama. Mama says, I'll be up soon. Baby Llama hums a tune. Llama Llama Red Pajama waiting for his mama. Mama isn't coming yet. Baby Llama starts to fret. Llama Llama Red Pajama whimpers softly for his mama. Mama Llama hears the phone. Baby Llama starts to moan. Llama Llama, red pajama, listens, quiet, for his mama. What is Mama Llama doing? Baby Llama starts boo-hooing. Llama Llama, red pajama, hollers loudly for his mama. Baby Llama stomps and pouts. Baby Llama jumps and shouts. Llama Llama, red pajama, in the dark, without his mama. Eyes wide open, covers drawn. What if Mama Llama's gone? Llama Llama, red pajama, weeping, wailing for his mama. Will his mama ever come? Mama Llama, run, run, run! Baby Llama, what a tizzy. Sometimes Mama's very busy. Please stop all this llama drama and be patient for your mama. Little llama, don't you know, Mama Llama loves you so. Mama Llama's always near, even if she's not right here. Llama Llama, red pajama, gets 2 kisses from his mama. Snuggles pillow, soft and sleep. Baby Llama goes to sleep. Thank you.
Oh, y'all are going to have to go on the road. We're already getting comments. Awesome. All the libraries and children's churches will be booking you now. Come a little bit closer. There you go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Megan Russell, and I'll be doing Sick by Shel Silverstein. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox, and there's one more that's 17. And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut and my eyes are blue. It might be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin. My belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankle's sprained. My appendix pains each time it rains. My nose is cold and my toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff, my voice is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my throat. I think my hair is falling out. My elbows bent, my spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk, I cannot hear. There is a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail and my heart is, what? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Goodbye, I'm going out to play.
Yay. That was awesome. Now, do you have anything else to say, or can you all come and like take a bow, like a stage call? Stage.
They have questions about,
Okay. All right. Let me tell them.
Oh, I flipped my hair again. I noticed that. I went.
Oh, they're already unmuting themselves, so they must. Does anybody have a question? Oh, and they're changing the camera on me too there.
Oh, I see children.
Yeah, so you can all wave at them. Oh, wait, we have some comments. Okay, so let me get to, let me find Elk Knob here. They've got some comments for you. All right, Lindsay. Can you, there you go.
This is the best buddy Lacey.
And somebody's sticking their tongue out at you.
Aiden.
Miss Gilbert, do you have some questions or a comment for them?
Yes, Kylie's coming up here. She has a
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. What you're standing? No, right. Wait a minute. What? Stand up. Where? That's her right there. You are. Okay, go ahead. What do you mean by when you had a hole in her ear?
Like, you have a hole in your ear, baby. Legit. I don't.
Wait, I didn't switch to you. Now you can answer.
You have a legit hole in your ear, baby.
She was trying to use any excuse to get
You know. Okay, one more there to help Knob while we're there.
Liza.
I can't get.
Pull the chair.
Just stand right there. Don't. You can probably get you. Don't let it be about Minecraft. Okay. It's not Minecraft question. Yeah, please. Do I have to go under there?
Yeah, there you are.
Oh wait, hold on. Was that really the true story about the fox?
It's just one interpretation. The fox, the wolf thinks he's innocent, so, or he claims he's innocent.
He was
I guess,
innocent.
I guess he knows for sure.
Oh, okay.
But that's not the original telling.
No.
Okay, let's see. Jonesville has a question. What? Miss Jones, can you unmute it? Oh, there we go. Okay, and they said Miss Metcalf wanted to say hi to. I guess they're trying to get the camera on her there.
She's a little reluctant. Just a moment.
We can see you real good there, Charlesy.
Oh, great.
Goes.
Hey, Hunter.
Thank
It's great to see you. Y'all did a great job.
you.
Did you have a question too before we leave?
Yes, we have one question.
Okay.
How old do you need to be a forensics?
Okay, so for VHSL, the rule is that you have to be in high school. For Thomas Walker, that includes 8th grade. So whenever your high school starts, that's when you can begin competing. So for us, it's 8th grade. We can have 8th graders on the team. For Lehigh, it's 9th grade.
Any more? Oh, you have a question? I see he's right up there in the camera. So, all right. Here you go. You're up, Dryden.
I didn't exactly get it too well. If the wolf's innocent, how's he alive? In the first story, they ate him.
I know. The great thing about fairy tales is that they evolve from throughout time and from culture to culture. That's the great thing about them. They all start with a lesson to be learned, a story to tell. But from culture to culture, they tend to change little things. So this is actually a very modern story written, I think, in the 1990s. I could be wrong about that. But it's a very modern telling. And it's basically just a funny take on a classic fairy tale where we only hear from the little pig's side of the story. So John Sieska, who wrote this, decided to give the wolf a chance to speak out for himself. In most of your classic tellings, however, the pigs are triumphant and the wolf does get eaten in the end. Sometimes he just gets locked away in the end. But so this is just kind of a funny telling of the other side of the story.
Okay, we have one more question from Dryden. Jonesville hijacked your mic there a minute ago. All right, Dryden. There you go.
Okay, our question is, do they get to choose what they want to read when they go to competition, or is it something you all do as a group, as a choice, or do they choose what they want to do?
Yeah, can sure.
I do allow them to start looking for pieces. I tend to work with them on that to make sure it's a piece that we think will be relatable from a wide audience. There are 10 different categories, so they tend to narrow it down to a category, either a serious or humorous. Storytelling is, you got to see kind of a little peek at what that entails. So the students tend to know their strengths as actors, and so they start choosing categories and then start looking at pieces. Do you guys want to talk about like the process of how you start looking for your piece?
Basically, my piece, what I have to do is I have a lot of trouble memorizing stuff. So I have to figure out as soon as I can what I'm going to do. And I have to constantly read, memorize my piece down. And then I work with Miss Dean to figure out what I need to do in certain parts of the story to portray the characters and to portray the voices and act them out well. Yeah.
And Hunter always chooses storytelling as his category, and then we just try to find a fairy tale that would fit well. Sometimes Megan tends to do prose or poetry, so she tries to find novels or short stories that would be great. Dawson normally does prose, and this year he's doing serious dramatic. So we just look around online for things. You can choose from novels, so if you have a favorite novel, you can always choose cuttings from that. You're limited to 10 minutes, so it's important to find a piece early so that you can start cutting it and then adding movement to it as well.
Okay, we have one more question from Elk Knob. Let me get them back up here.
It's pretty.
All right.
Why didn't the wolf just buy sugar?
What do you like?
Or
He was struggling.
Yeah.
The wolf had no money, they said. Okay, well, great. That was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, y'all want to do like the official stage bow there? Thank you very much.